Right, now the deadline has passed for financially stricken Worcester Warriors to confirm with the RFU that they have a credible plan in place for the future. We have breaking news on their situation. Our reporter Rob Jones has it. Rob, good evening. Tell us.
Evening, Mike. Yeah, you said that there were requirements put in place by the RFU and the deadline was 5 o'clock. Well, Worcester Warriors have not met those requirements and therefore they are suspended from all RFU competitions for the foreseeable future, including the Premiership, the Allianz Cup, the Allianz Premier 15 and the age group competitions as well. I'll just paraphrase a little bit of the statement that's come through from the CEO of the RFU, Bill Sweeney, in the last few minutes, who says, "We appreciate this is incredibly difficult news for fans, staff and players. We would like to thank the staff and players who have worked tirelessly over recent weeks to enable matches to continue. We met with players and staff last week to explain why this action would be necessary, and regrettably, without assurances in place, we have had to take this action to protect everyone's best interests. We hope a buyer can be secured to allow Worcester to continue and return to professional rugby, while it is the responsibility of each business owner to manage their individual finances. We will look at the learnings from this situation to see what regulation can be put in place. The RFU will continue to support community rugby in Worcester and is fully committed to ensuring local academy opportunities. The RFU will work with Premiership Rugby and DCMS to establish next steps for the club and what this will mean for the Gallagher Premiership, Men's Academy and Allianz Premier 15s competitions. But for the moment, Worcester Warriors are suspended from Premiership fixtures whilst they are, if they are to come back. The games forthcoming in the next few weeks will be walkovers, so they'll be victories for their opposition until Worcester can change the RFU's mind and they have in place that credible plan for the future, that evidence that they are able to pay their staff. The staff have been paid late, or were paid late, 5 days in August, and also that insurance, because their personal liability insurance ran out today. They've applied for a 72-hour extension to get that put in place, but for now, no insurance and no credible plan for the future for the Worcester Warriors.
Rob, this is desperate news for Worcester and more generally really worrying news for the sport of rugby union. Now, I know you've been speaking to players and fans. What are they making of the situation?
Well, if we start with the players, I spoke to one of them earlier on the phone this afternoon, and he gave me a little bit of a timeline of how the last few weeks have worked as being a Worcester Warriors player. And we started with pre-season. He said when we came back, there was a bit of positivity, but the light at the end of the tunnel has become ever darker since then. They've played matches, but not really been in any fit state from a professional perspective to fulfil those games. One of their sponsors had to pay for their bus trip for the first game of the season against London Irish. They've been wearing last year's kit as well. They didn't do too much in terms of contact sessions or any pre-season matches leading into the season. Yet despite all that, amazingly, they beat Newcastle in what could be their last match for quite some time here at the weekend. The players were given the opportunity to vote on whether they actually wanted to play on Friday. They did so unanimously. Then today, when they were given the message at the weekend from Steve Diamond, their head coach, that, well, it was effective that they weren't going to be here for some time. Some of them have been in to pick up some of their kit and equipment because the doors are now locked. They won't be able to come here and train, so they'll have to do some of their own training alone just to keep their fitness ticking over. Some of them, I understand, are looking at the option of some short-term loans, both to other Premiership clubs and even down into the Championship as well, to keep themselves ticking over a little bit. But the players have got a meeting with the head coach, Steve Diamond, at 9 o'clock tonight, where they'll get a little bit of a guide, I guess, of what the next few weeks might look like and how they'll be able to train and potentially where they'll be able to play. The next payday is on Friday. If they're not paid on time, once again, they will send a letter and there will be 2 weeks. And if after 2 weeks they still haven't been paid, then the players have the opportunity to go and start looking for other clubs.